Yo, what's up, LA Sparks Weekly fans? As you can see, we are back here in the building inside of the Crypto.com arena. Michael Matthew with the one and only DJ Treasy Trees. Hey, Sparks here looking to pick up a win after a tough one in Las Vegas. They're sitting at 2-5.
Yep.
They're going against a short-handed Phoenix Mercury team. What are you looking for tonight for them to pick up this win? Or shall I say this afternoon?
So the Sparks need to win because I was already talking crap on the podcast, talking about how the Phoenix Mercury was not better than the LA Sparks. So I'm looking forward to some great basketball being played today. They are going to have to focus on Kalani Brown, Satu Sabali, and Sammy Wickham. Those are my three players to look out from. Sammy from the three-point, Kalani in the paint, and
Satu everywhere.
Satu pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah. Last time they saw this team, it was a few weeks back. Close game. They lose 86-83. They had a rough third quarter. They only scored 77 points. In their last game, they have these up and down spurts. And Coach talked about it there in the pregame presser that we're trying to figure that out because we know what we have that can perform well, but we just have too many of these spurts. What do you think can help this team to get out some of these funks they find themselves in and quarter out?
I think the shakeup in rotation is going to take care of that. I think the energy flow will be a little bit more manageable with Julie Mon out there a little bit earlier now that we see what she can do on the playmaking, and she's more well adjusted back into the W. We forget that she was not here last year. So now that she's taken some time, had some games to kind of shake out the rust, I think the Sparks have a little bit more of a game plan that can get us over the hump with no Alyssa Thomas. This is like Christmas, y'all.
Hey, so they got the change there. I really like it. Julie's going to be in for Sarah Ashley Barker.
Love it.
Let the rook kind of come in and look at what's going on before she's thrown to the wolves. But I like, you're going to have speed. We talked about it before the season. Speed is what this team should use as an advantage. They're going to have some of that tonight with Julie Alamon inside the starting lineup. But sending out prayers to our girl, Rakia Jackson. Hope that you get well soon. She's going to be out taking a break. But who are you looking for to kind of step up to that? Because what Leah Chu's been able to do, she's showing me a lot. I'm becoming a big fan
She a
of
rebounder.
her play.
She a hustler. I look forward to like the bench really stepping up. But to be honest, today I think it's gonna be Julie Alamon day. I see at 10 assists. I'm feeling a little bit of Magic Johnson.
She gonna make Kelsey Plum get a little jealous.
Give Kelsey the ball a little bit more. Let her score and let her open up some other opportunities for herself. I think that'll shock the defense and get the Sparks a win today.
We talked about it with the live show that hey, Kelsey likes to come in and kind of get a feel for it, but it puts the team behind. I'm hoping, like you're saying, she comes out early and gets it going, putting up some quick numbers to get the offense kind of a quick spark. You were able to talk to De'Erica Hamby, who has been the Miss All-Purpose for the team.
Double queen.
Man, what excites you about what she can do tonight to help the Sparks win?
She's talking about just keeping that pace up, and as we know, she's going to lead by example. So when De'Erica plays at that level, we know that the other members of the team are going to play at that level. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight. She's talking about getting her engine going early. She was talking about keeping it sustained throughout the game, and that's the game plan today and the game plan every day.
And she behind us getting that work in, so she looked like she's ready to go. Hey, shout out to KP, who's also giving assists off the court. DJ has a dope interview with Sarah Ashley Barker talking about the kick she's rocking today. That's going to be so much fun. But before we get to the game, as always, LA Sparks Weekly have to give you our players of the game. So who do you think is going to be for you today, DJ, that's going to help the Sparks pick up this win?
With no Alyssa Thomas, it's going to be Kelsey Plum. I think Kelsey Plum is going to exploit their offense, their defense. There are going to be some steals. She's going to be looking to show us that she is the leader of this team. So I'm going with Kelsey Plum early.
For me, once I heard no Alyssa, I said, oh my God, the big should dominate. So I didn't know which one to choose, and I'm going to go with the one right behind me. De'Erica Hamby, I think that she's going to fill the stat sheet once again, scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, block, whatever she has to do to get this team a win into 3-5. So it's going to be a fun one. Sparks Mercury, I hope you guys tap in and enjoy. Hey, we'll see you guys after the game.
We're on time. On time.
How you doing, Coach? Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. One quick one, real quick, and then a little bit of a longer one. But is there any update on the timeline, or if Rakia's absence is going to be an extended one, or is there any update on when she may come back? And then the second one is, just this early in the preseason, how has it been game planning with the team still trying to find its, rhythm, trying to execute? Especially when that execution varies game to game, when one game you get full 40 and the other not so much.
Yeah, well, in response to Rakia's a big part of our organization and our team, and she's taking personal time, and we support her, and we're excited to get her back when she's ready to be back. In response to the team, it's been, this is our 8th game in 16 days. And that part's been a challenge. And so while you need to have time, with everything being so new, as we've mentioned, practice time would sure be nice. But it's not something that we're given right now, and that's okay. And no one feels sorry for us, and we're not asking for that. So I think that's what you're seeing a little bit with the inconsistency is that we, it's game, travel, one day to get them recovered and do all the things while trying to go over an opponent, and then execute. So, after this game, we have 4 days of practice, which sounds like training camp at this point. I can't wait. And actually tomorrow's off, and then we'll have 3 days of practice, which I haven't said. So I'm looking forward to that, and we can kind of regroup and do some things, but it's just part of it, and that's the way the schedule landed. And again, I'm not asking for any sort of exception to that. We've got to be ready to go, and we've let our inconsistency has cost us a couple games.
And just to piggyback off of that, Coach, like you guys have spurts to where it looks really tough, but then you have like the last game you have a spurt where it's like, yo, they look amazing. Who are the players? I know the coaches, you guys have your voices that you're talking to the players to fight and push through, but who are those players that are like the leaders for your group to kind of like, hey, we got to pick it up and do better if we want to pick up these wins?
Yeah, as I've mentioned many times, I do think this is a really good group, so I wouldn't say it's one voice. Obviously, KP and De'Erica, their voices are steady. Emma Cannon is phenomenal in that regard. And always is saying the right things at the right times, has everyone's respect. But I think those three probably right now.
Hey, Coach. Speaking to Azrae after your last home loss, and she spoke about how you need to just put together a complete 40 minutes, which I know is easier said than done, and also pointing to your last game against the Mercury, it was that third quarter. So I guess in your perfect world, what does a great third quarter look like for you guys?
More than 7 points. Although I don't know how many it was, but it felt like 3. It was 7. Thank you. I think it's doing our group has to find a way to do the simple things consistently, whether that's transition defense. We have not been consistent in that. And in this league, if you have 3-4 minutes of bad stretch with that, you're down 10 suddenly. We have to be consistent in our ball screen coverages. We have to be consistent with moving the ball on offense. So those are the 3 things that have been inconsistent in those runs. Offensively, we get away from what we're trying to do as a group. We do a little too much one-on-one, ball gets sticky, and then just defensively not having the intensity it takes for 40 minutes.
How do you evaluate turnovers? Like, how do you personally evaluate when you see the turnovers happen? Like, are there good turnovers you can live with? Are there,
yes.
Like, what are the turnovers you can't live with?
The ones that are, it's a good question. I don't know how much time we have here, but I don't mind the turnover. Like, we want to play with tempo, right? So we want to get up and down the floor. So if we have a turnover for them trying to do that, maybe they throw a high lead pass to De'Erica and it just kind of slips through her hands out of bounds. I'm fine with that. They're trying to do what we're trying to do, right? It's the ones where it's, casual pass, casual catch, those types. Or the ones where, we're supposed to be executing ABC and they just get to A and it's like they turn it over trying to do something. Like, those are kind of, to me, mental toughness ones. Those are the ones that we cannot have if we expect to win in this league.
My follow-up is, you guys are 8th in turnover rate in the league, but you're actually 12th in giving up points per 100 possessions off of turnovers, second worst in the league. How do you kind of get the team to, when there is a mistake, to actually not hang their head and to get back in transition to where you are able to play at a half-court defensive rate that you guys have been good at this season.
Yeah, if you have a key for that, that'd be great. If you could let me know what to tell them. We've talked about that, and I think it's human nature, right? You make a mistake, and it's like, but you can't do that. And so we've hammered it in film. And again, we haven't had practice time to actually work on things. So it's more just their intensity and willingness to do it. But it's a huge one. You're absolutely right.
Coach John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. You're getting to the part of the season where you're about to see everybody you're about to play a second time around. What type of energy and effort do you want to see from your team the second time they play a team? Well,
I think there's just I think you should have a little more, and this cuts both ways because the other team's going to have the same thing, but you should just have a little more confidence with who what the game plan is. We've seen them, so you can make adjustments to what worked, what didn't. Try different things. I think you can get into a little more chess than checkers the second time, third time you play. I mean, this will be the third time we play Golden State, right? And so, you're going to make adjustments, but again, we've got to play for 40 minutes. Doesn't matter who we're playing. There's got to be an intensity and a focus and a commitment to doing the simple things. And simple doesn't mean easy. Sprinting back in transition isn't easy, but it's simple. We've got to do the simple things for 40 minutes to give ourselves a good shot.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned wanting to be more consistent with your ball screen coverages. Is that more of a challenge when you're playing a team like Phoenix that runs so many inverted screen and rolls?
I know, they do.
Yeah.
A lot of little to big screens. No, it's just the nuances that players are playing. Obviously, instead of guarding the ball, they're guarding the screener, which is just different, but the philosophy remains the same. And I thought we did a good job at Phoenix, but it was that third quarter and offensively. And so we've got to, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but we've got to do it for 40 minutes.
Azure with 23 points. Kelsey and Dearica being the focal points of other teams' defenses a lot of time. Are you happy with what you're getting out of her in your offense, or do you think there's some stuff left on the table with how you can optimize what Z is putting up?
I'm happy with her, I think. But yes, we can she's shooting a tremendous percentage from three. She didn't have a great shooting night at Vegas. She got good looks, and I have every confidence that she'll hit them the next time. But yeah, there's always ways we can tweak and adjust things to where she's maybe getting utilized a little more. But her strengths fit into kind of being not necessarily the go-to, but the get. Like she gets it, even if she's not the go-to.
Hey, Coach. We talked about this a little bit before, but with such short practice time, things kind of coming at you fast. Your rookies, SA, Leah too, the way they've kind of just been thrown out into the fire like that. Just kind of what can you say about the way, obviously, there's going to be kind of hiccups along the way, but what can you say about the way they've been able to respond to kind of that quick schedule so far?
Yeah, it's an adjustment. And, SA had a tough go in Vegas, but I told her after the game, 2 months ago you were playing the NCAA tournament, and tonight you're guarding Chelsea Gray. Like it's a significant jump. And to give yourself a little grace and not doubt yourself. Remember why you were drafted and why you're here. So she is not starting tonight. We're going to see if I can take some pressure off of her. And Julie Aleman will start in her place. But the rookies have done a good job, and they're doing their best. And again, being thrown into the deep end with such high stakes is tough, but they're handling it.
Last two questions, Raj first and then Rashawn.
Hey, Coach. Through the first 7 games, how have you seen the relationship between Kelsey and Dearica on the floor, especially as a ball screen pairing in terms of pick and rolls and pick and pops, and how can you see that evolve as the season goes on?
Yeah, they obviously have on-the-court chemistry together, and they look for each other out there, which is great. I think both of them are going to have to adjust a little bit to where, because they are such the other team's defensive focus, they're going to have to figure out how to get other people involved in those pick and rolls too, because what's happening now is just everyone's collapsing. And so I think the more we can get other players involved in that action, off of rotations, that's just going to open things up for them in the future. But we'll continue to add to the playbook and find ways to get them going in that two-man game.
Hey, Coach, back here.
Hey.
Hey. What were your impressions of Satu Sabali, that first meeting, and how does that impact tonight?
Satu's good. I mean, this just in. I coached against her when she was at Oregon, so when I was in the Pac-12 and very familiar with her. I think, they do a good job. They've got, her and AT, and they run so much around them, and they've just surrounded them with shooters, and so they're tough to guard. They shoot the most threes in the league. I think, Satu's a tough one-on-one matchup. Her size, I guess that's why she's called the unicorn. Her size is legit, and then her guard skills are legit, her post game, so she's a tough matchup one-on-one, so they play to that. They'll try to get her in ISO situations, and you kind of have to pick your poison. Do you try to get the ball out of her hands, and then she sprays it to teammates for threes, or do you, so she's tough. She's a tough matchup. And with AT out today, I'm sure more of the load is going to be handed on her, so we've got our hands full.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate y'all being here. Thank you.
What's going on, LA Sparks Weekly? It's DJ Tracy. You already know I'm here with De'Erica Hamby, yo. So, De'Erica, the season hasn't started off like we thought it would start off. You talked about it in the press conference. Yeah. You're a vet here. Talk about how you refocus your mentality and continue to go on in the season.
It's a long season, we play every couple of days right now. It's like odds aren't in our favor currently on our roster, but it's the same for other teams as well. So, we got to take advantage of our opportunities.
Okay, and playing against the Mercury today, Kalani Brown, they got some new people on the team. Alyssa Thomas is out. But can you talk about how this team is a little bit different than any other matchups you've had?
I would say they aren't their roster isn't structured around superstars, so to say. They have a ton of role players that are doing their job really well and taking advantage of their opportunities, just shooting open shots and feeding off of Alyssa and Satu creating. So kind of similar to the Minnesota offense, I think they're similar.
Okay, and final question. Coach talked a lot about getting the energy up and making sure that, we start off early. Is that the game plan today? How's the locker room feeling?
I mean, that's every game day. It's supposed to be the plan to have a sense of urgency all 4 quarters, but especially the start of the game, especially the start of the third. So each game we're taking little bits and learning from it and just got to continue to put it together.
Thank you so much for taking some time out. LA Sparks Weekly, keep it locked right here on Infanity TV. Yeah. Yo, y'all, look at this new Commissioner's Cup ball that just came in from the WNBA. It's fly. I just wanted to show y'all this. Look, rose gold on it.
It's dope. The whole ABA style of it, the black, the white, really lit. The WNBA doing some great things.
They doing it. It's fire. All right, LA Sparks Weekly fans, it's DJ Tracy. I'm here with Sparks rookie Sarah Ashley Barker, and we're just going to chat a little bit here. You are officially a professional basketball player. The dust has settled. Tell me how it feels now being on the other side.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing feeling. A lot of gratitude for sure. I think one of the things is I just love the game of basketball so much. So being able to be in this position and truly live out my dreams, it's been a lot of fun.
And you're a big fan of Kobe and the Mamba mentality. What does it mean to be drafted by the LA Sparks and get to play right here where Kobe played?
Yeah, I think it means everything. Just because, like you said, the Mamba mentality has always been kind of stuck in growing up. That's always what I wanted to be about, and just how he competed every single night. And then obviously being able to be drafted by LA was awesome. And so just being able to be in this building, see his jersey, all of that, just knowing what he did for this state and Los Angeles in general, it's really cool.
Final question. We see you be hanging out with KP. She got you laced with some Sabrinas. Yeah. How are those shoes, and how does it just feel to now be plugged into the W?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing. I've actually got the white ones on right now, so I'm wearing them tonight. Yeah, it's just awesome. KP's awesome. Just being able to have great vets, that help lead me and help, want me to get better and give me any advice that they're willing to give. But she's also just such a great person as well, so it's not even about the basketball. It's just who she is too. But then you talk about other vets on our team like De'Erica, Z, they've just been just as great too. And I'm just very blessed to be on a team that has such great vets like KP, Z, and De'Erica.
Awesome. LA Sparks Weekly fans, you've heard it from the Rook. Keep it tapped in here on Infanity TV. Thank you.
breaking news. DJ, what do you got to tell the people?
The Sparks are going on the road, and we will be at Watch Me Sports Bar in Long Beach this Friday, giving away tickets to the next Sparks home game. So definitely pull up on your LA Sparks Weekly host, Michael Matthew, and myself, DJ Treacy Trees. Keep it locked on Infanity TV for so many cool things like this, y'all.
Hey, you don't want to miss it. LA Sparks Weekly fans, I know, I feel it with you. DJ feels it with you. A tough loss. Another one, 85-80. The Sparks fall to the Phoenix Mercury. LA Sparks Weekly, we are here.
Yep.
We've seen it all. We went from the high of having an 18-point lead to a low, losing this game. DJ, the team is now 2-6. We just saw what they did in this game tonight. What went wrong?
I think what went wrong is that third quarter. We talk about the third quarter. The numbers, the math just wasn't mathing. Okay? That's it. That's what happened. Just shots stopped falling at that point. We were efficiently playing basketball, and then we had some easy misses that kind of just messed it up a little bit. We only lost by 5. Again, Sparks fans, if you are watching this show and you are panicked, you need to relax. Maybe get on BetterHelp.com.
Don't relax too much.
Do a little bit of breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, because it's still early in the season. If you add up, if you look at the Sparks record, we ain't even 10 games in it yet. So let's not make decisions just yet. This was a tough loss. The Phoenix Mercury was shorthanded. They were playing like they were shorthanded. We're shorthanded. We were playing like we were shorthanded. We just didn't get the win today.
Yeah, it's just, it's tough to see them have another one of those quarters that they struggle. It's the third game this year with a quarter that they scored less than 10 points. One of them other games being against the Mercury when they lost 86-83, and then when they lost here at home against the Valkyries. Like, I don't know what it is, The players are trying to figure out what's going on, but they've been telling us, they're like, we're close. And whatever close means, you're seeing it. But it wasn't just negatives out there tonight because you jump out to an 18-point lead, you're doing some stuff right.
Oh, for sure.
And Odyssey Sims.
Crazy, unconscious.
Big O went crazy
She went
tonight.
Crazy.
30-plus points, doing her thing, getting to her spot. I was kind of disappointed at the end about the last 5 to 6 minutes. They didn't even go through her. That's when they tried to get KP going. But Odyssey did some great things. What did you like about her performance?
I asked Odyssey about it in the press conference because, man, I mean, it was great to watch. You watch Odyssey play a lot in AU Pro Hoops, and her style of play is just electric. She's getting the ball. She's dribbling in. She's hesitating. She's got people on skates. So it's very entertaining to watch, but it was also really good to just watch her get some buckets for the Sparks tonight.
I got a name for you.
Who?
While I'm watching her play, I hope it ain't too blasphemous for my hoop fans out there. Allen Iverson.
AI.
Like,
I would say Kyrie, but that's close to
AI. She do a lot of AI stuff, like the handles, getting to her spots.
Even the double clutch when she be going up, it's like,
the little face or jump shot. Like, that's what you see in her game, and I love the fact that she came out aggressive. The new starting lineup, we talked about it before the show. What did you think? I like what we saw, especially early.
I love Julie Alamond. I am
Okay.
falling more and more for the Julie Alamond of it because she's passing the ball.
Man.
Everybody was getting so much better looks, and that's why I
Yes.
think Coach was right about those first 2 quarters being exactly how they want to play.
Yep.
So we were seeing it. You know, you said the players are saying we're getting close.
Yeah.
We are close. We saw quarters 1 and quarters 2 go extremely well, running that ball through Julie Alamond, getting Odyssey some touches,
Yep.
forcing the defense away from Kelsey Plum so she can get some better looks. Things were working.
No, yeah, it looked really good, and that's why they got that big lead. That's
Yeah.
why they were even in this game. And, you know, it's just another one that they let get away. But don't just listen to DJ and
Yeah.
I. Tap in. Coach got you covered. Odyssey Sims and Kelsey Plum with the post-game presser.
Coach, before the game, you kind of had a joking, you joked that a perfect third quarter would be anything but a single digit effort. And by fate, that's, exactly what happened. You lose that lead in that stretch. I'm sure there's frustration, but after a loss like this, what do you even, say? And the same for the players as well.
Well, it's frustrating, right? This is a competitive group, and I believe in them wholly. This game came down to us not shooting great. If you look at, we had 8 threes in the first half. We finished with 8. You look at the field goals. They made the same amount of field goals we did. They just hit 4 more threes. That's where we lost the game. I thought we got some good looks from people that I always think are going to hit it. And we just didn't make shots tonight. And a lot of times when you're in a drought like that, then you put pressure on yourself that the next one has to go in, and the rim just kind of gets smaller and smaller. I think that's what you saw.
Mike Hill, Matthew, LA Sparks Weekly. This is for KPR Odyssey. This is the third quarter this year in a game that you guys scored less than 10 points with you guys there on the floor. Is it just the shot making, or is it some things execution that you guys may come out in the third quarter to where maybe the team defense picks up, or maybe you're just not running stuff as crisp?
We know the third quarters have been our struggle right now, so we're going to continue to approach every game like we've been approaching game 1, continue to figure out what we can do. There's not anything specifically, we just got to figure it out. Hopefully sooner than later, but it's early, so we got time. We let this one slip away, but short-term memory, got another game. Got to try to get the next one, but just got to be better.
DJ from Infanity TV, this question is for shifting the focus to individual performance today. 32, 5, 4, and 1. What did you like about this matchup today?
Nothing specifically. I just play basketball, I guess. So it's a little bit more aggressive. I think the rim was kind of big for me today. Just kind of stayed in that mode. We were up going into halftime. Just wanted to just basically keep my foot on their necks, even though we let it slip away. But it's not about individual performance. As a team, we still got to be better. So we'll go back. We'll watch film. Off tomorrow. We still got work to do. Good thing is it's early, but still work to be done, and we're just going to try to be better every game.
Two quick questions. First one is, KP, you've had battles against Odyssey, but what have her contributions been like for the team and just her veteran presence and playing alongside her, especially tonight?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I remember in the off season, I hit her and was like, hey, what you doing? You want to do it together? She's been incredible. She's one of the fiercest competitors in the league. She plays both sides of the ball, extremely physical, very strong. She knocks people off their spot, even players that are bigger. I thought she did a great job tonight. On Saw 2, we kind of helped a little bit more on certain post-ups, but I was one of those people that, you go into war like you want her on your team.
And then, Odyssey, this one's for you. The second time around with the Sparks, what have you kind of seen from this team early on, and just the balance between the rookies and their contributions alongside, some vets that you have, battled with as well?
We have some returners, but new system, new coach. Every day we're trying to get better. Every day we're trying to figure out how she wants her style of play to be, us to understand her style of play and execute while we're on the floor. It's early, like I said. It's early. We're not hanging our heads down. Of course, we lost. Of course, this one stings. Of course, because we're right there. We know it's third quarter. We keep saying the same things over and over. It's kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but it's going to be less talking about it and more doing it, applying it starts in practice and transitioning on the court. And at some point, we got to see some improvement, and we got to be better all around.
Question by me, Justin.
I have two. First, for Coach. The first 19 minutes of the game, you guys had 3 turnovers. I know turnovers have been a sticking point, but the ball's moving. And like you talk about process, that first half, is that kind of what you envision, like the reward can be if the process is adhered to?
Yeah, that's how we want to play. And I think, excuse me, we finished the second quarter there. I think it was an 8-0 run by them. And so we kind of went in a little, but other than that, I thought it was, maybe our best half offensively. We had 16 assists on 20 baskets or 21 baskets, and we finished with 17 assists. Now, that's not necessarily saying we weren't passing it in the second half, but we weren't making shots, right? Those assisted catching, all the threes we took were catch and shoot. Those are what we want. You got to live with it sometimes. Sometimes you have a bad day. It's a bad day to have a bad day when you have a lead like that, but that's the game. And but yeah, what that first half is kind of how we want to play.
Second one's for Kelsey. In the second half, they kind of tightened the screws defensively. For you personally, what looks were they showing you that kind of got you out of rhythm, so to speak, in the second half?
I just missed. I mean, it's not anything that I haven't seen all year. I feel like I didn't have any legs. I was just trying to pull it out. I thought O was just phenomenal in the way that she just answered their runs individually. I mean, I had 4 really good looks that felt good coming out of my hands at the end of the game. I'm going to get another chance to do it, and I'll hit them. But, I mean, I just didn't feel like I had my legs tonight, and it's a tough way to go out for sure.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. Just wondering from all 3 of you, what's your assessment of the new starting lineup that you came out there with, 3 people who are known in the league to be primary ball handlers?
Yeah, I thought Julie, she's coming back. Anytime that you're out and you come back, it's hard to try to figure out your rhythm, and I think that every game she's gotten better and better. And she plays with a great pace. That's something for us. I think in the first half, she makes quick decisions. She's moving. She's finding people. And O and I can play off the ball like Julie can play on the ball. So we're going to continue to get comfortable with each other. But, I think you got to give herself a little bit of grace because she's coming back. And it's not like, oh, let's practice and integrate you. It's like, hey, Julie, by the way, you're playing tonight. That's kind of how this league is, and I think that she's going to continue to get better and feel more comfortable with her body, and then also our team, and yeah, I have a lot of faith that we'll be there when we need to be there.
Last question, second row left side, Raj.
Hey KB, I asked Coach about this pregame, but you have 8 games now with you and Dearica. How has that relationship been as a ball screen and a pick and pop partnership? Seemed like a lot of dribble handoffs tonight, but just how has that evolved so far, and how can it get better as the season goes on?
Yeah, I don't think I connected that well tonight. I thought that, gotta go back and watch the film because sometimes, you're not seeing it in the game, and then you go back and watch it, oh, that makes sense. But, credit to Phoenix. I think they do a good job of, dropping to the level of the ball, tagging on the roller. In the first half, we were hitting out for threes. In the second half, I still feel like we moved the ball, but we just couldn't make shots, And so I think, got to give Dee a little bit of grace as well. She plays super hard. This is our 7th game in 15 days, and I know I didn't have a lot of juice tonight, and I know that she was probably trying to thug through it. So we'll regroup, and we'll be ready for Dallas.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So we're back. We just heard from Coach, from 2 of the starting guards there with Kelsey Plum and Odyssey. And you could tell they kind of they look drained. KP said it man, my legs was kind of
7 games in 15 days is crazy. I'm tired, and I'm just
8
standing here
games
with the
in
microphone.
16, so that they just been hooping, which you would think, but it's a lot,
It's
so
a whole lot.
I'm happy that they're going to get this little break.
Yep.
They're going to get
a little
tomorrow
practice.
off. Yep. practice.
Practice.
You know, they
yeah.
finally gonna be able to practice.
Yeah.
But you see something with this team.
Mhm.
Like some teams who are struggling there in the W, you kind of like, man, I don't know what we're looking for because it don't look right. With the Sparks, you see something.
Yep.
It sucks that they're dealing with the injuries early. You're
So
without
early.
Ray Burrell, no Rakia,
Yep.
no Cameron
Still
Brink
no Cam.
as of yet. So they're just a team that's like, hey, if we can just get some of these buckets to go our way, we'll be looking like a 6-2 team.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if it wasn't for some shots not falling and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, turnovers there. But I did like the energy tonight.
Yes.
They looked like a team that was really wanted to get after this win,
Mhm.
but it just didn't happen.
Yep.
What did you hear from Coach or KP O in the presser that stood out to you?
I liked Kelsey Plum's accountability. She's
Okay.
like, yo, I just got to be better. I had 4 shots. She knew the amount of shots she
Yeah.
had that were easy shots that she just didn't make. And she's like, I just missed them.
Yep.
Like, I can say that I'm going to be better, wish she is going to be better. She's not. She hasn't made it a habit of missing a lot of those easy shots, but that was really the difference in these games. And then 2 easy free throws. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The free throws are
Yeah.
kind of killing us a little bit. We were getting to the line because we were in the bonus, but if you can't convert those, then it's tough. And then also transition defense. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you get a couple of those easy baskets that just kind of melt away on
And
you.
then
And
at those transition spots are not just layups; they lead to threes.
Threes, yeah.
Phoenix start knocking them down in the second half.
Yep.
The Sparks really struggle for 3. Emma Cannon 0 for 5.
Yep.
Azare 1 for 7. KP 2
Yep.
for 10.
and
from
Azare
three.
at least knocking down 1 or 2 of them. So
Yeah,
it was just a bad shooting night for the
And
Sparks
yeah,
all
it was
around.
just sometimes, like Coach said, hey, you just have one of those nights, and it looked like they had it
Mhm.
tonight. But we're not done. Player of the game. Who you got for your player of the game? I think we got the same player.
It's
gonna be easy.
Odyssey, hands
Odyssey,
down, man.
Sims, baby.
It was like the rucker in here.
Oh my God!
I mean, she was doing everything.
I was thinking AI when
Yeah.
I was watching her play. Like, bro, they can't stay in front of her.
Yeah.
She's like tough out there.
She was getting every
She
foul
was guarding
call.
Satu, making it as tough as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and Satu got hers, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And she had been guarded by little old Odyssey.
Yeah,
So,
with the hustle.
yeah.
Hey, you said T?
Yeah,
And
T and A. I'm telling you, T and A matters. Toughness and aggression.
There you go.
And that is Odyssey Sims as a basketball player.
That's right.
So, Sparks fans, I know your heads are down. We're feeling sad too. but
not
it's
that
all right.
sad.
You know,
okay?
They still got.
Stop feeling
yeah,
sorry
yeah.
for us. We ain't feeling sorry. We ain't defeated. We gonna come back.
They got time to go. You
That's
know,
right.
they got some games. It's crazy because they only got 3 more home games this month, so it's a lot of games
on the road. We're
Yeah.
gonna be in the studio.
Yeah, Friday.
And speaking of that,
Yeah.
we having another watch party. Are we at Watch Me on Friday?
Yeah, watch me on Friday.
We outside.
Oh, we outside.
We
with it.
outside.
That's gonna be fun. So I hope y'all ready for that. Sparks Weekly, Mike Hill Matthew, DJ Tracy Trees. Come out Friday. Watch me Sports Bar in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Hope to see you there.